Yeah, hi. Welcome to the Talk Comics to Me. I'm Champenstein. Me llamo Chompenstein.
Chomp. I was going to do the Greek one, but I'll just say, hello, I am Heather Headfield, because I don't remember how to say my name is in Greek. I just know the color. Togerama.
What color is that?
It's not. It's just the color.
Oh,
or no, sorry. The letter.
Oh, okay.
The letter. It's
okay.
The letter Omega. Oh. Or Omicron.
So we're here. It's Thursday. We have gotten so distracted for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But
yeah, we were gabbing like friends that haven't seen each other for years, and we saw each other this morning. So
yeah, and basically all this week. So
yeah, every day.
Yeah. So who knows what's wrong with us? But we do know what's wrong with us. We're here to talk about comics.
That's what's wrong.
You take it away.
Yeah, I'm going to take it away.
You do it.
I'm going to start with this weird book. This is Frank at Home on the Farm. This is issue number 3. It's a first printing. I didn't know that it said that on the back. That's interesting. So this story is about a man named Frank. He comes home after the war to his family's farm. His family is missing. He can't get anyone to tell him what had happened to him because everyone in town doesn't know who he's talking about. Okay. He starts hearing animals talking at night, and he thinks that he's losing his mind, like PTSD. Turns out he's not. There are animals actually talking, and this is the issue where they have full-on conversations with him, and he is losing his mind. It's hilarious to me because there's one scene. Let me find it.
Oh, there it is.
It's very strange, but it works for the book. Mm-hmm. This part cracked me up because this pig is sitting there at the table and he slowly backs himself into the cupboard and just closes the door.
Yeah, no, that's good.
It's so good. So this pig is essentially the leader of all the animals on the farm. He is talking to him and saying, "There's something happening. We need your help. You're the only one who can really understand us, or the only one who listens to us." Turns out that the pig is not who he says he is because the cow is yo, don't listen to the pig. Pig doesn't know what's going on. He's just trying to trick you. So this is happening. There's a war between the animals on the farm and the humans in the town are trying to find who's setting places on fire. There's apparently a bunch of men in the town aren't there, is what I think is going on. It's very strange, but there's a lot of moving pieces in this story, and Frank is a central part of what is potentially happening. Hold on. Family Man.
I'm gonna kill my dog right now.
There's barely a man between 20 and 45 left in the town. We lost so many. They don't explain what happened to them. So they're trying to find someone who is within that age range who is new in town. So they're slowly making their way to Frank, thinking that he has something to do with what else is going on in the town. I have said this for both of the previous issues. This book is so weird. Okay. Sorry, Megatron decided to pick now to eat his food, even though I've been here for almost 2 hours now. I've been here for almost 2 hours, and he didn't eat anything during that period of time. So anyway, Frank at Home on the Farm, issue number 3. This is a scout book. I'm not sure how many issues there's supposed to be. I feel like it was solicited as 4 originally, but I just don't know how they would tie everything that's going on up in 4. So hopefully it goes on longer. I want to know what's going on with the pigs. It's a really, really weird book. It's so strange. And I don't know, honestly, who I would recommend it to. Because, I like it, but it's also, I just like how weird it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't really understand what's happening, but it's just...
Yeah, that first issue, because I got that first issue of it. Mm-hmm. I have it, in a pile of stuff to give away. It was really strange. Mm-hmm. And I didn't, not like it, but it was one of those things where it was, out of all of the things I have, is this the thing I really want right now?
Yeah, no, that's... That's exactly what it is. It's so strange.
All right, so then I have a Pantomime. This is issue number 5. This is just about a group of kids who use sign language. They have different disabilities where they need to use sign language. And main big bad came back from jail, has been making them do heists, and this is kind of just like wrapping up the story. I believe wrapping up the story, because we're kind of coming to like where our main character is talking to the police. Like it's a whole thing. Really, really, really good story. I don't know what I was expecting going into this. I think I was just kind of like, I think this is like an interesting idea. And every issue, like the pacing is just so fucking good, dude. Like it's just so good the way it like reveals itself, and like the hand that's coming about is just like really great. The art also is just so good. Just the way they...
I really like the art in it.
And just the way they use sign language and the hands to really like express talking. And, like, you know, because that is the way they are talking. So it's just really cool. The colors are really great. I just, 100%, this book has blown me away. Honestly, I've enjoyed every single issue. After the first issue, I was like, okay, this is all right. But, like, it just keeps going, and it's just hitting all of those, like, really great notes.
I love it. Thank you. I'm very excited to get around to reading it, because you have sung the high praises about this book since the very beginning.
Yeah, so. I just don't know, like, something about it just, like, really, really draws me in, and it, like, I guess I like a good heist. But
you do love heists.
I do like a good heist, but it's just also, like, the way it's put together, and it's just not... It's not cheesy, I think, is what I really enjoy about it, and it's just, like, the tone is like very lighthearted at the same time of just being very like serious. And I don't know, I just like all these kids quite a bit.
I know that like any stories like this that you read where there's a group of kids, you do become attached to them.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I definitely have like characters that I like more than others, and I don't know, I feel like everything is going to end up like okay, but I'm afraid of like what okay means.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because it's like the end of the story and things are situated, but like, is it going to be a happy ending that you want for them, or
no?
Is it just
like, I honestly like it's going to be. I think it's going to end on like a high note, but I think there is going to be something that kind of just like, you know, like one of those things where somebody's stabbing at you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you're like avoiding all of them, and then one of them's just like a really good
one just hits.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that's like how books go.
Books.
So now we have Alien. This is issue number 1. Heather and I were just talking about this just because I didn't want to like surprise this on her and have her say that she did not like it. This book was great.
Yeah.
This book was really, really good.
I'm kind of irritated at how much I enjoyed it, because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it at all.
Yeah, same. Yeah. None. My level of just like readiness for it was absolute 0. Because I saw like some of the preview art, and I really, like I told you earlier, like I usually normally like LaRocca art.
Yeah, there's just something like, off about it.
Yeah. I don't know what step of it like just seems off, but yeah, like I told you, it just seems stiff. Like it's just when characters are screaming, it doesn't feel like that. Like it doesn't feel like they're screaming. It just feels like they're just like frozen in time doing things. But otherwise, the story itself is really interesting. It takes place after the second Alien movie.
See, I didn't know that. I was going to ask you about that, because I know that. Or actually, I guess I didn't know. I just didn't realize
the beginning,
the
Alien, the intro page with the title.
See, and I had read that. I just wasn't sure, like,
So it takes place after the second Alien movie.
Okay. I have seen a couple of the movies. I'm just not too familiar with it. That's why that's why I was going to ask you, because I knew the characters were significant. I knew, like, the situation was, but I didn't know how. I didn't know, like, if I had missed something, but okay. It's after the second movie. That makes sense. I watched Alien vs. Predator like 1,000,000 times, so I love that movie. Was it versus Predator? Yeah. Alien versus Predator? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I just keep thinking of Jason versus Freddy, too, which I also watched that movie 1,000,000 times because they're so dumb. Anyway, that's like the only Alien movie that I know anything about, other than, like, characters from the first one.
So, yeah. It's a really great story. It just kind of, like, builds on characters you don't really know besides necessarily Bishop.
Right.
And it's kind of just like a father-son story right at the moment. We'll see what the fuck happens.
That cat was my favorite.
Basically, environmentalist group, but not environmentalist group. And I kept saying this. Environmentalist group, anti-capitalist group, anti-corporation group, anti-government group, whatever.
It's just a group of white activists.
Yeah, white activists break into a place they don't know anything about, and they just basically probably unleash an alien and destroy the Earth, possibly.
Yeah.
Just like,
that's accurate.
Just like in zombie movies.
Yeah.
But with aliens.
But would you say he's like the leader or like heading up this operation?
I would say
he's a member of this group.
Yeah, I would say he's kind of, I don't know, not the leader, but being used by somebody.
Right.
It just sounds like it's unfortunate that the writer does play his partner like that. But it seems like he's being led on by a woman.
Yeah.
By the pussy.
I hated her in the first
She's got a hell of an ass!
Oh my god. She better after this book. The fact that she called him baby twice in one page just really... Every time she says something to him, it's just like, hey, baby.
Yeah, no, it really does just play into a stereotype a little too hard.
But basically, the guy is the son of someone who was on a previous mission and battled the aliens. The xenomorph, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's whatever.
But, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The beginning page where you see all of them, that was
pretty sick.
This was the coolest page to me.
Yeah, same. Aliens aren't bad in this. Just the people are.
Right. But, I mean, like, even the pages where they're within, like, the flashbacks or whatever, the colors in it were just really, really, really good. I just have, my facial expression thing. That was my only problem with it. Otherwise, it just seemed like...
Like I said, yeah, they just look stiff.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it is worth a read, though. Especially if you're a fan of that kind of story.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Nomen Omen. This is issue number 13. There are 2 issues left. Becky gets her heart back, and she somehow manages to not die with like a fail-safes essentially that she had set up previous to the battle with the king. Because the king killed her, he took something from himself as well, so he has this wound that, like, he's immortal, but he has this wound that will never heal and it will always hurt him. When Becky comes back to life, I don't know if she actually, like, died. I don't know the proper way of explaining it, but I'm just gonna say when she came back to life, she realizes that the king, when he had killed her, is taking over the world. He's spreading his world into the human world and destroying them pretty much. And she gets help from this cute little bird. It's a bird man who is the king's brother. So I guess in the last 2 issues, we're going to get a little history of his brother, and then she's going to kill him. That's my theory anyway. I still love this story. The art is just so beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
I just love it so much. And I'm excited to see, because again, there's only 2 issues left, and I feel like it's doing a really good job of, like, winding down and closing up all the loose ends and stuff. So I'm really excited to see exactly how he's going to end this.
All right.
I was pleasantly surprised by this book, and I think it's probably one of my favorite books, just because of like how, I don't know, the story weaves. It's like reading a fairy tale, but set in like modern times. So
all right, that's cool.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I just really, really enjoyed it. I did switch halfway through from cover A's to cover B's because I thought the cover B's were just way cooler, and I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, no, they are.
It all started with that Chris Anka cover. I was like, done.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I have Bitterroot. This is issue number 11. This just came back from a pretty long hiatus. I honestly can't remember the last time.
It's been like 4 months.
I was going to say at least like 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, I read this issue going in being like, I'm probably not going to remember anything, but this does a great job of just like filling in everything that happens. So if you didn't, I guess, want to read if you just wanted to jump in and like find a new book to read, I think this would be like an interesting point to do that in Bitterroot, because it does like do a really good job of like explaining what happened in the other 2 story arcs, as well as just like, if you haven't read them, making you want to go back and like check them out, just because the story is really in depth, but like I said, just fills in those blanks, kind of just does since Bitterroot follows the Singari family, this issue is broken up into parts showing what they're doing right now after the Geno and the, God, what are they called? The Inozad.
I love that art so much.
Yeah, the art is so good in this book. The colors too, they're just like really, really, really great. Sorry. In Zondo, sorry. Close enough. In Zondo, there are 2 different types of kind of like demons caused by like fear, anger, sadness, and just the Inzondu are very much created by sadness, and then that's just been driven to anger. Just a really great story. It's set in 1925.
When was the first arc? When did that take place? I know it was like around the same time.
Yeah, I think probably like a year before that. Okay. So this is only supposed to be like 6 months.
Okay. After that.
Yeah, after the like whole first and second story arc. So this is, no time has really passed. But it's so good. It's really, really great. Yeah, and the art is really interesting. It just fits with the story so well. Huge fan.
Yeah.
I would suggest this book to,
I think I'm going to pick up that trade.
Kind of anyone, because it is just kind of like
it's a very informative story. Like,
yeah,
I know there's been a lot of things.
Yeah, there's been a lot of information. I mean, the single issues are great too, because it does have like those little.
What was the summer one called? I can't remember.
Red Summer.
Red Summer.
That issue was so fucking good. That issue.
I did read that
one. And the
one.
horrible part is that I learned about the Red Summer via a fucking comic book, and then just felt like a stupid idiot.
I mean,
for so long. It's just like,
I had only known about it because of Wikipedia and just hitting random article. Like,
yeah, it's just like absolute
otherwise,
bullshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about it either, but that's what I mean. Like, it's very informative.
Yeah,
I know you've
does.
learned like so many things from it that you've just like mentioned.
Yeah, and I mean, there are articles in the back written by people of color, or Black, indigenous, and people of color. Like, it's a great book. It has like, you said a lot of information. It's just like, it's just stupid stuff everybody should just know anyway. Just, but I mean, history that we should not be like.
It's stuff that gets left out because it has nothing to do with the people who wrote the history.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing we'll dive into some other
we'll
terrible
make a
time.
Comic about that.
Yeah.
Everything that was left out of
comics.
Yeah.
Or history.
History,
not comics.
A comic about history.
All right. So now we have Haha. It's this piece of paper.
This is Haha. Here it is. It's a clown.
Yeah,
a mime.
Actually, yeah. So we should not be.
Mimes aren't technically clowns,
and we should not even be saying words right now.
Dang it! It didn't pop like it. I was like, okay, let's mime it. Ready?
So we were shorted issues on Haha, which is why we don't have it. But we work at a comic book shop, so we were able to read it. This issue, every issue of Haha is written by, god damn it, it's Maxwell, I can't remember.
W. Maxwell Price.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. W. Maxwell Price.
Okay.
I believe.
I just broke out of my mind, sorry.
Because I needed help.
Yeah. And we just...
And if I'm wrong, I promise I'll just come back and put a thing on here. So everyone's written by him, but every artist is different. It's a different story every time. All about clowns. This issue is also about a clown. I guess it's about a mime, which is not a clown, apparently. But no words, just art. It's really great. Heather and I talked about it earlier after we read it, and it just reminded me of kind of just like a silent like cartoon where you just kind of like heard the music in the background of your like head and just did it yourself.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain what this issue is about without giving away the full story. It's just about a mime trying to make money to pay rent.
Yeah, basically.
And there's a robot in there, but that's like... It's really good. I really, really love this issue.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially since I had a little bit of time to sit on it. The second one, obviously, that we discussed was the best, but it was just a lot compared to this one. Mm-hmm. This one is just like, if you need 2 minutes out of your day to just feel good, just read it. It's cute. It's
and
like,
also awful at the same time.
Yeah, no, the end is just...
And that's how I feel about a lot of, like, his work. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of his work is just, like, the beats are just, like, so fucking sideways, dude. It's, like...
Because it's
like, just dark and, like, not gritty isn't the right word, but it's dark and then just, like, joyful. Like, like, even Ice Cream Man.
It has a good way of, like, masking what it truly is about with, like... overtones of just being happy, and I think that's what I like so much about it.
I just feel like every time I come out of one of his books, I'm just like, it feels like somebody just fucking punched me in the face. And
but you're like smiling when it happens because it's like all these mixed emotions, and I think that's why he's so good at those types of stories.
He just creates like a weird world.
Yeah, because imagine if they were just like an anthology, like movies.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I love about it, is because I just don't think. Like, I love horror anthologies. Mm-hmm. Are there any good horror anthologies? I'm gonna say this right now. I don't really think so.
Maybe like one, but even then, like not all the stories are good.
Holidays is probably the best horror anthology I think I've ever seen.
Which one was that?
It's the
was
one,
that the newest one? Like a newer one?
I think it's. I feel like it's a few years old, but it's the horror anthology that is literally just about like different holidays.
See, I'm trying.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure
seen that movie.
Yeah, because I'm
like, out of all of the horror anthologies I've seen, I feel like it's one of the best ones I've seen.
Yeah,
let me see. I'll find the.
Okay, because I know there was like last October when we did the horror movies. I watched several anthologies, and I remember there was 2 of them. Like one of them was that international like folk horror one. Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed that one. It wasn't necessary. Oh yeah. Okay, yes, I know exactly which one that is. I loved that one. That was the one I was just thinking of. But I couldn't remember if it was holidays. I just remember, is that the one with the baby coming out of his dick?
I can't remember.
I watched so many anthologies that I keep getting them mixed up. But, like, I do remember that because I remember the cover. It was good. He should just do movies. Because I would be pleasantly surprised at how good they are.
I feel like yes and no. I feel like there's just something about them being comics that's so much
Well, I mean,
better.
if he was, like, no one else was to take his vision and do it. Like, I feel like they would be so good to watch. But that's what's cool about those comics is every single issue is something different. Yeah. But it's like, it's what I needed from horror movie anthologies.
So, yeah, it's the best horror movie anthology pull off that we've seen. Even though I dropped off Ice Cream Man for, like, you know, personal reasons.
That's what we should do for October this year, is read one of his issues of a horror. I mean, and watch a movie, of course, but, like, read one of his chapters from, like, one of these series every day of October, if there's enough by then.
Yeah, we'll see.
There should be. I just think that'd be fun. And then write an essay. I'm just kidding.
I don't have time.
It could be the top comics, like, month of October, Halloween, spooky, whatever.
It's okay. I watch horror movies every day.
Look, I watched this one last night called Becky with Kevin James as a Nazi. It was terrible.
All right, go.
But the little girl was great.
Talk about your book.
Okay. This is, I keep getting the words mixed up. Cold Dead War. This is George C. Romero. I just snapped myself. This is George C. Romero. This, of course, like any classic Romero, is a zombie story. This is about a man who, I think it's World War II. Yeah. During World War II, he was a fighter pilot and stuff. He lost his entire crew or whatever. Let me see. His aircraft was called Cold Dead. I was seeing like where, if it would say where they were. Anyway, he was the captain of pilot. I don't know military terms when it comes to that kind of stuff. Anyway, he has a crew. They all end up dying. This takes place 5 years after the war. He's in this small town. He's on a farm doing his thing, hanging out. A woman from the military comes and is like, hey, we need you for something. And he's absolutely not. I will not go with you, woman in the pink pantsuit. She's like, well, I'll tell everyone your secret. The secret is his crew didn't actually die. It's not like a twist or anything, so it's not like I'm giving anything away because it's a zombie movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, flick, you knew it was going to happen. His crew is still alive. They are in the cellar of his house, and he is feeding them, but they're like talking and stuff to him. Like they're still his friends. They're just like prisoners in his cellar eating pigs. It's weird. As with, like, most of the weird books I've gotten today. It's very strange. But I am a fan of Romero and zombie stories and stuff. So I did add this because it is only 4 issues, I think. But there's not really anything that they could do in this that would be shocking or surprising. Mm-hmm. It's just a Romero thing that I'm reading just for fun. I have no expectations.
Understandable. Yeah, that's how I go into most zombie things.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing new or exciting about this.
Yeah.
It's just a zombie story.
All right, so I have Harley Quinn. This is issue number 6. This is Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. My bad.
Sorry.
Book 6. It's wrapping up the story.
Is there going to be 8?
No, this is it.
That's it? Okay.
I'm done. I am done with this story.
Okay, good.
I read all of it. Harley Quinn gets a new suit.
It's cute.
Does or does not join the Gotham Police Department or whatever the fuck it's called. This book fucking loves cops.
I'm going to flip through it. I need to see how much they love cops.
I don't think you'll understand.
Well, I like how these kids are riding the dogs.
Yeah, that's fine. I honestly, I just don't particularly, as I've said before, like this story. I don't think it's bad necessarily. I just don't think it's something that I enjoy. That's all I really want to say about it.
Can I bare my soul to you for a minute here?
No. I don't have much time.
It was just going to be a quick thing. I think I like clowns so much because anytime that Joker is portrayed, he has a large nose. And I think as a person with not a small nose, it's nice to see the representation of a clown with a nose. Okay, let's not talk about this then. Okay, we'll just say
and
this
lots
is
of comics.
We did not read this.
No, we did not read this because of our personal feelings on NFTs. So if you don't know what an NFT is, it's basically digital art resold. I guess not even art. You can take screenshots, tweets, whatever. Sell it digitally to multiple people, and it doesn't even need to be yours. You can just take a screenshot of somebody else's shit and make it a NFT, and then also they destroy the world.
Yeah, I actually had to... I don't know anything about this. I would say for someone who is a millennial and raised in, the internet age, I don't know very much about anything. I had to Google what an NFT was, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I thought it was, some sort of mushroom, like we had discussed. Yes, I would love to be best friends with you. Let's do it.
Yeah, sometime soon, I promise. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you can do whatever you want to do, but I personally can't support anybody who is willing to do an NFT just because of the, like, amount of Earth that is destroyed. It's equal to, like, what happens with Bitcoin. Like, it's just not, it's not good. It's just not great.
And it seems like a really weird, I keep using this word, but it seems like a really weird flex. Like, no one cares.
Yeah,
you know, and it's just like, it's more harm than good, and it just seems strange that that would be something that you decide to do as, like, an artist. Or
yeah, I mean, I guess I get the appeal. I guess I get the appeal, but at the same time, I absolutely don't. Like,
yeah.
I saw, like, a tweet, I guess, that was basically talking about, like, how people didn't have access to art, but, like, you know, houseless people aren't going to be buying NFTs.
Right.
So, like, that argument is basically invalid there. Like, the people who are going to be buying NFTs have the money to buy NFTs.
Right.
So it's just...
And the fact that they're buying that instead of actual pieces of, like, art. I was reading somewhere that one of them sold for more than an original Monet, which just blew my mind.
Well,
and it was just like a Logan Paul trading card. Who?
Yeah.
What has he done?
It's just, it's a whole load. I mean, like I said, feel how you want to feel. We'll feel how we want to feel. We will decide not to support artists or people who do that sort of thing. So, you know, that's us. That's us. Yeah. I actually did drop all of my Matt Kint books. I was, like, very disappointed. It sucked. Because, for the most part, I do enjoy Matt Kint books. Usually when I'm like, oh, it's a Matt Kint book, fuck yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. I think this was one of the only ones that I'd read.
Yeah, for me, it's just, like, he usually pairs with, like, an artist I really like. It's just, I don't know, it just sucks. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about Harley Quinn, the first issue. I do not actually have the physical copy of it, because I read it at the shop, because we had just one copy left, and I was just really curious to see what it was about, and I kind of enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to read the second one, but it's basically, it takes place after Joker War, obviously. Harley is trying to atone for the things that she's done over the however long. She has a list of people that she's going to, you know, apologize and do what she can to make it right. She's kind of working with Batman, but she's not doing well in terms of, like, living situation, like, financially, any of that kind of stuff. And I feel like she is kind of dealing with the aftermath of the Joker Wars, emotionally too. I don't know. It was very interesting. And the citizens of Gotham as well are dealing with what had happened then to anyone who is clownish or whatever, who they recognize during that whole time, who had sided with Joker. They're kind of doing their own thing to get rid of them. So Harley is also helping Batman with that. But, you know, she still dresses the way that she does, but she's trying to get on the payroll so that she can get money, because, again, she is really struggling. She, like, the apartment that she's living in is just, like, garbage. She broke in through a window to get in. Like, it's just, she's not doing well, so she's trying to do things to...
If you broke in through the bedroom window, what's your car in the front yard?
You got me there. I was like, no, she doesn't have a car. She walks everywhere. That was good. That was real good. Anyway, Harley Quinn, issue number 1. Do you remember the artist's name on that?
Ramasso. Riley Ramasso.
Okay.
Or Ramoso? Something like that.
See, I didn't know what their name was. Stephanie Phillips writes it. This guy does the art for it. I think we had discussed this previously, because she had done the little short story of Harley in Urban Legends, and it was surprisingly good. So I think this is...
Rossmo?
Yep, Riley Rossmo. Art was incredible. It was colorful and, like, just... It fit what the story was supposed to be, and the more I talk about it, the more I realize that I think I really liked that first issue. Which That just, like, shocked me. I wasn't expecting that. But I think it was just mostly because the team that worked on it feels like this is what Stephanie Phillips is supposed to be writing. I think that she captures Harley really well. So, again, I am going to check out the second one, so I will let you know how it goes. But the first one, I mean, if you're a fan of Harley, if you liked even the short story that was in Urban Legends, check it out, because it was a real quick read. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that Urban Legends story was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was really lighthearted.
Which is why I wanted to know what you thought about that book in particular, just because she really did nail that really well. I had a really good time with it, so... I know. I said it was nothing too exciting, but I also just said, as I'm talking about it more, I'm realizing that I actually did really like it. I kind of, like, sat with it for a little bit. And I did tell you I like the art, so I wasn't lying about that. Yeah, I think sometimes, like, with comics, though, it does take a minute, like, and I think sometimes, too, the character, like, you know, you don't necessarily like Harley Quinn. I think sometimes that, like, plays into that, like,
right,
like, did I like this story, or was it like I'm just not connected with this, like, particular character, or I don't care for this character?
Yeah, and I think that's what it was, because the only other Harley story that I really enjoyed was that Harleen, that 3-issue ones, and it's a completely different feel. So I think when I went into this one, I wasn't sure what to expect, because Harley's just kind of like a whatever character to me.
For sure. Oh wow, that's ruthless.
That's my nickname. I don't deserve to have that thrown back at me. Can you talk about stray dogs now?
Okay, so stray dogs, murder, detective dogs. I don't know. That's basically a man who's been murdering people, collects their dogs. He's been going to dog parks and meeting people, and then taking their dogs, and it's the dogs trying to solve the murder. I love that. Yeah, it's been great. Like, honestly, like I said, I wasn't sure if I'd like this. This has been just, like, a fucking killer book. I love it.
Sorry, I just imagined all 3 of our dogs teaming up to, like, investigate crime, and I got so excited about it.
But it's just, like, the art is so great, the colors, like, this book does a really great job of, like, crediting all of the people who do the art, because why not?
The art reminds me of, like, Oliver and Company.
Yeah, it's so good. I can't say enough good things about this book. It's something I jumped into without, like, kind of thinking I would enjoy it, and it's just, I wouldn't say it's a horror book. I would just say, like I said, it's like a mystery book. Like, right. I just really like the reveals. I really like the tones it's setting.
Would it be like a thriller?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, okay. For sure. Yeah, I could definitely say that. Yeah.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah, because the dogs, like, there's a whole point where the dogs are in this situation where they're, like, trying to make sure the owner doesn't catch them, because they're in a place where they definitely should not be, because that's where all of the fucking trophies are.
Right.
And so...
I love this. I'm going to have to read it.
Yeah, so it's just, like, one of those things that, it's so good. It really is a lot of, like, I don't want to say a lot of fun, because that's not the right word. It's just...
As a reader, it's fun.
As a reader, it's fun, and it's also intriguing. Mm-hmm. Like, the way, like, you weave this story together with animals is really great. You know, it's, like I said, it's something that could come off, like, just really fucking bad. Mm-hmm. Like, just not good. And it just, like... sells itself right away. It's real strong. Like I said, just real solid book. I've not, like, out of these 2 issues, have not been disappointed. Just have been absolutely, like...
Yeah. Oh. I love the dogs. I'm going to send the writer pictures of my dog, because my dog is,
if you don't
like...
write Lizzie into one of these issues, even though it's probably already, like, at that point...
She would be so interesting to, like, read a comic about, too. Like, just home, like, watching the Scorpion King.
She has a perfect
like,
face.
Yeah.
She has the perfect dog face for that.
That's very true. That's why I was saying, like, if our dogs, like, investigated crime, I feel like she would be the no-nonsense, like, leader, because she always just looks so, like, stoic.
It's funny because I really wonder what Wendigo would be. Because, like, Megatron would definitely be just, like, the protector. Mm-hmm. Like, he would try to protect all the big dogs, even though he doesn't know.
Oh my god. I love this so far.
So, Patrick, get at us.
Yeah,
Let us know what Wendigo is. We're going to continue talking about actual comic books.
Yeah. This is something to think about, though.
Yeah. So, we have Batman. This is Detective Comics. So, you're probably just like, what the fuck is happening? Neither of these people have ever read Detective Comics.
We read 1,033 issues of Detective Comics over the last few days just so we could talk about this specific one.
I am not a liar, and I will not say that I did that.
I had my fingers crossed, so...
This at least... I didn't read the Robin story because it was
I didn't either.
You need to... It didn't say I needed to read, but I figured I probably would want to read part 1 of this. Mm-hmm. So I did not read it, but art's great. Robin story.
I really enjoyed the Robin story. I didn't realize, like, I knew the art had changed, obviously, but I didn't realize it was, like, a separate story. I just thought that... I love that.
Wendigo's the dumb eye candy. Which,
what a perfect group.
Yeah, she's great. She's the blonde. She's the baby.
The secretary?
the baby and the alien.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying this is the follow-up from the Dark Detective Future State series that Mariko Tamaki...
Yeah, but this is definitely not that Future State story.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just, it was like this is what's happening afterwards. Like, it was supposed to be a conclusion is how they originally solicited it, but it's not.
Oh, no, because this is definitely, like, not the same Batman or world.
Not at all.
This is definitely, like, the James Tynion, like... Because the only reason I was like, because the remnants from the Joker War.
Yeah, no, and that's the only reason I had added it was because it was originally supposed to be that, but it's not. That's what I was trying to clarify.
I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah. No.
Heather, did I not understand this book?
No, you did, but that's why I was, like, explaining that, because I had gone into it thinking that that's what it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Because it was the same team, and then, Dan Mora, like I had said, probably on every single episode that we record. I will read almost anything that Dan Mora does the art for.
Oh, yeah, same.
Doesn't matter. I am in love.
I'm in love with Dan Mora.
I'm in love with Dan. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I don't know what this man looks like, but his art...
I do. I follow him.
Okay. Also, can we talk about this?
Stand by what I said.
Which full spread page of Batman coming down and panels around him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Love this.
Honestly, Dan Mora's Batman is probably one of my favorite Batmans I've seen.
Can we talk about him digging in the friggin' Gotham sewers? Like, come on, my dude.
Yeah, no, I'm glad
I got this.
I really like his Batman, suit and
the
way his Batman just, looks in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love it. Like, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say.
I don't know,
it just looks really, really good. It's how I always imagined Batman was supposed to look.
Yeah, I feel like Dan Mora, it's interesting because I've loved all of his work for a long time, for I guess a long time, like a few years now.
Right.
But one of these things is seeing him on a book like this has been really exciting in a weird way. Yeah, because it's I would never pick up a fucking detective comic. I would never do that.
He sold it,
and yeah, it's just that detective, the Dark Detective, really he did just such a great job, and I just really do Jordi Beller does the colors, that also just
it's just a really good team.
Yeah, it just does fit so cohesively, and I did really like this story. I didn't think I would.
Yeah, it was really good. I feel like that's the magic of Dan Mora, though, is I will read anything that he does the art for, but he's always teamed up with such good writers. That,
and he always has such good colors too. I don't know, I'm not going to say Dan Mora is not good at art, but I think that he has just such solid colorists behind him that sell Tamra, Jordy,
it always just
it looks
emphasizes
right.
How good
and the neon colors are just always so good.
I could go on forever about how much I love him, but
yeah. So I'll go on now.
Yes.
Because otherwise we will be stuck on this absolutely all night.
Forever. Remember the first 4 issues of Buffy?
Don't take me back.
Sorry.
So I have issues 22 and 23 of Buffy. After a little mishap, I ended up getting these back, and just because I know I had been like wishy-washy of putting this on my profile or taking it off, but I just really wanted to keep it on just to see what happened, and I
had a bit of a crisis taking it off of mine.
It's one of those things where I think, okay, I'm gonna pose it like this. It's kind of like the show, where you have these arcs or these things that aren't, like, you don't like, and you don't feel like fit the characters. But then you hit these, like paces of just being perfect. And I think that's how I feel about this comic, too. And some issues hit real hard and, like, definitely hit right. And some issues just, like, are not quite what you want. And I feel like a lot of, like, some of the issues, like, in the past have been a lot of filler. But I don't know. I just, like, I really do still enjoy it. Like, I like...
Well, because at its core, it's Buffy.
Yeah, and I think I am a sucker for Buffy, for sure.
Absolutely.
But I also just, like... I don't know. I think there's something interesting about the twist they've done with this story and the way they've... Like, where they've put people and the when they've put people. Because, obviously, everything is very, very different. And I don't know if after they do these things, if they're going to try to, like... go into different realms of the same things, or if they're going to choose to just, like, go off in their own direction. Because they've done that to an extent, but they've kind of played into, like, stories and tropes that have already happened. And I would really like to see it kind of just, like, delve off and be itself, you know, rather than, like, just be kind of like, okay, we're bringing in things from, like, the Buffy universe that you know, like, we're bringing in, like,
do an original story.
Yeah, because,
just the characters are the same.
Because even with, like, Xander being, like, a vampire, like, his big bad is still kind of just, like, reminds me a little bit of, who was I thinking of when I was reading this earlier? Not really, like, the Master, but kind of the Master, or, like, kind of just, like, a Spike character, the way he, like, tries to, like, jab at Buffy, like, with things. And, like, her connection with him, or, like, I guess Evil Angel is probably one of the better ways to describe it, just, like, without
I think that's
that,
way
like,
better,
without that, like, romantic aspect to it. And, like I said here, they bring in, like, the Dark Willow thing. So it's just...
They're just rewriting the show.
Yeah, and it's fine, but I just, like, I would like to see them play their own hand, because they've kind of been doing that. It's just, like, just do it full on.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with just making it your own.
Especially since... Is Joss a part of that, or is it just, like...
I honestly, I don't think so, but I think
he's just credited as, like,
I think
created by... Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree, though. I think it would be really cool if they just did, like... These are the characters from the show, but here's something completely different that you've never seen before.
Because they definitely tried to do that. They've played off of it. It's just, I want it to give me more, and I think that's the thing we've been talking about all of these issues.
Yeah.
I still don't think that's wrong. I think it's kind of giving me that more, but not enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I'm done talking about Buffy.
Okay.
So now we have Once and Future. Heather just fast read this before work, so I'm not gonna really...
Yeah, we didn't... My copy was, I guess, technically damaged, so I don't have my own. So when I do get it, I'm gonna reread it. But I just, like, flipped through it really fast, like, yesterday morning, and I read it. I know, like, what happens, but I don't think I fully comprehended, like, all of the things that are happening.
I really love Kieran. This team is probably my favorite. If they ever did any other book together, I would.
Oh, you know how much I love them.
Yeah, I would absolutely die because they're great. Kieran, Dan, and Tamra are just, like, I don't know. I think a beautiful team of people. Like,
What issue is this? This is 17.
Yeah.
For issue number... I think it's the next one. Either 18 or 19. I cannot remember. The 1 in 25 cover. It's not a Dan Mora cover at all. I almost screamed at how good it was, and I was this close to ordering it. It is so good. I'm just very excited about it.
Who is it?
I can't remember who it was. It was just like, it was the 1 in 25. I saw it on previews when I was like looking at the variants and stuff yesterday, but it was like so good. I sat there for like 10 minutes and I was like, Wendy, look at this variant. Because I was hoping she would be like, you don't need it, but she would just like, yeah, it's cool.
You want it?
I needed someone to tell me, like, you don't need it, but, like, I want it.
Yeah, no.
I want it so bad because it's, like, half of it is Duncan and the other half is, like, the Knight. It looks so good.
Galahad?
It's so good.
Basically, Merlin plays his hand because Merlin's Merlin, and Merlin's like, bitch, I've been playing you this whole time.
He's a dick.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand, like, I know that I don't really know that much about, like, Arthurian stories, like, honestly, short of, like, Indiana Jones and just, like, watching, like, some, what the fuck was that movie in the 90s?
Sorry. Thank you.
That movie in the 90s, who was in it? That was all about Arthur and, like...
I'm drawing a blank. I just keep thinking of Indiana Jones now.
And Merlin, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the name of the movie or the fact that it was in the 90s. It's just one of those things that, like, we'll talk shit all day long, dog.
That's all we do is talk shit.
Anyway, my knowledge, very little. But I do know Merlin plays everybody.
Now I'm like, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about it. So we'll have to look this up afterwards. We'll get back to you on it. Because I can't think of what it is. You mentioned Indiana Jones, and that's all I can think about now.
I know, and you have never really watched Indiana Jones. Anyway, that's a whole discussion for another day. Enjoyable, great story. Don't really need to be, like, familiar with any of these sorts of stories. You can just jump in, do whatever the fuck you want. It's great. That's what I love about it.
Grandma's nice. And by nice, I mean she's just badass. I love her.
She's like a sassy British grandma who can shoot people with no regard.
She reminds me of my grandma, but just, like, more... I'm not scared of her. If that makes sense. Like, I would just be stoked to know her. But that's it. I love the grandma.
All right. You want to...
Oh, yeah. I technically have X-Force. It did come out last week, but I had just gotten my copy yesterday. Kid Omega is trying to figure out the big monster or whatever who is going around terrorizing them. It's scaring them. I don't want to get too, like, into it because it's not important. I still really enjoy it, but there is one scene, which is why I wanted to talk about it, where Wolverine's, like, up in the kitchen and he's drinking his coffee and stuff, and Jean comes in and she's just like, baby. She doesn't actually say that. I just imagine her saying that. She knows that he's been having trouble sleeping and stuff, and he says, really slick, he's just like, you don't mind my coffee breath, do you? She says,
just burps
never.
in her face.
That would have been way better. No, they get a little kiss. And then
Scott comes in and they all three make out.
No, that's why I'm telling this. He comes in and says, Jean, you ready for bed? And I was like, what about Logan? Where's the sandwich I've been waiting for this whole time? You're going to show me that they have doors to eat. Just show me them in bed. They can be fully clothed. I just want them in bed. I want Logan in the middle.
Stop being pussies about this. Just give it to us.
Give me my sandwich. Anyways, that's all I want to talk about. Beast has a stroke, whatever. Oh, yeah, that happens too.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Basically, it's a mind mutant that is feeding on fears of the mutants. Because when Jean and Logan kiss, they both see something that's just, like, terrifying to them, but they can't explain it, so they just, like...
maybe this is because we kissed.
Yeah, maybe this is because we aren't sharing a bed.
This kiss.
I like that that's the song that you went to, and I was just immediately thinking of Sixpence None the Richer, but you just went with, like, Faith Hill, whatever.
I can go with either one.
Yeah, no, they're both good. Like, 90s hits for sure, but...
Oh.
One day.
So I have cable. This is issue number 9. I found out this is ending after issue number 12.
I had seen that. I was going to ask you about that.
I'm really bummed. I can't believe how much I've really enjoyed all of this story. And I don't know, like, if it's... I think it's probably Phil Noto's art. I also think it's, like, just this really, like, human, empathetic Cable, too. Because that's really, like, one of the only ways to describe him. Because he is just, like, fumbling and silly, but he's also, like, more caring than any other Cable I think I've known.
It seems like he's the version of Cable that hasn't experienced the hardships of life yet.
Yeah, and I think that's probably it. That's probably the best way to describe it.
Just as, like, an outsider, that's just what it seems like.
I really love this story, and I am interested, like, I'm really interested to see how it gets wrapped up, because apparently it was always supposed to be a short little run. Whatever. I'll take it. I'm bummed. Like I said, I just really have enjoyed this. Out of all of the X books,
it looks so good.
Surprisingly, this was the one that I've kept.
Yeah, that is...
Because it has been the one that, like, every single time I read it, I have a great time. Like, from the very fucking jump, like, that first issue, like, really, I had a great time.
It was really good.
And then it's just been really solid, the way that, like, they've built the story. Even when they did X of Swords, it was really cool. I really do like it a lot. I'm really sad. It's a book that I don't think I would normally suggest to people, but it would definitely be a book I would say, like...
It's a good take on Cable. Like,
it is.
If you're an X-Men fan.
Yeah, it is definitely a great take on Cable, and I think it is, especially, if you're an X-Men fan, and especially if you're looking for a different book to read. And, Phil Noto's art just also is so good, and totally worth it. Mm-hmm. Totally worth it. Okay, so that's it. It's Thursday. We actually kind of talked about all the stuff we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Patrick, I may not be your best friend anymore, but you're still mine, so you're stuck with me.
And I'll be your best friend no matter what.
Yeah, it's nice how that works.
So anyway, thanks.
He's like, now I can get back to my eating.
So now, thanks for tuning in. We actually are going to record this Sunday, so we'll hopefully have a Buffy episode coming to you soon, babies.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get it.
We've been watching Buffy already, so be ready.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love you. Support your local comic book shops.
Libraries.
Libraries.
Libraries. I haven't said that in a couple weeks. Yeah. I didn't realize that. So.
Do good things. Support everyone.
Yeah, make good choices.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
Please.
We'll see you on the flippity flip.